Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Wednesday. Sad day today, 3 years since Jose Antonio Reyes sadly died. Popped up on my Facebook feed this morning. I noticed it, and always a sad time remembering what happened to Jose, what a fabulous player he was. Invincible, obviously. Maybe for a lot of people didn't quite hit the heights that everyone was expecting when he made that move to Arsenal, but I loved Reyes. I absolutely loved him during his time at Arsenal. So many good memories of him. Obviously the Chelsea goal, his first goal for the club, but the goal against Middlesbrough in the 5-3 in the game that made Arsenal break the all-time record of unbeaten top-flight games. I'll never forget it. It was one of my favourite ever Arsenal goals. And it's just sad to think of what happened to Jose Antonio Reyes. May he rest in peace. Thought I would start today's video on a topic which I've kind of steered away from so far. I haven't touched on it despite all the speculation, and I don't even know if speculation is the right word, to be honest. It's more because there hasn't actually really been any reports of it, but Serge Gnabry. I'm sure you've all seen it on social media. He seems to be the kind of the player of the moment of Arsenal fans at the moment on social media, the kind of the dream signing of the summer. There's lots going on with Gnabry at the moment, and his contract at Bayern, is he going to sign, is he not? It looks like he's not at the moment. Obviously that could change, but at the moment it looks like he's not, and he could potentially be up for grabs this season, or certainly next season on a free transfer, at the end of next season on a free transfer. And lots of Arsenal fans have been pining for him, have been speaking about him, have been sort of posting about him on social media. It's been impossible to ignore, and I'm not going to talk about him as a potential transfer because I have no idea if Arsenal are interested in Gnabry. It's not something I've heard, but they could well be, they should be. If the Arsenal are looking at forwards, and certainly wide forwards, to potentially take them to the next level, then yes, 100%. If they should be looking at Serge. It just feels an unrealistic one. Obviously, Arsenal aren't in the Champions League. He's a top quality player. He's proved that during his time at Bayern. He's going to have so many clubs interested in him. So obviously, it feels like a totally unlikely scenario that Arsenal could bring Serge Gnabry back to the club. It's like I said, you could kind of label it as a dream, really, for Arsenal fans. It kind of feels like unfinished business because we never got to see anywhere near like the best of Serge while he was at Arsenal. Sort of broke through under that time at the beginning under Arsene Wenger. Looked like then he could go on and become a world beater. I remember the goal at Swansea in a league win that season, and then it just never quite happened for him. The injuries happened, bad injuries. Came back from it. The loan spell to West Brom was an unmitigated disaster. I still don't understand the thinking of Wenger, Arsenal, to send him out to a Tony Pulis side at West Brom. It didn't work. I mean, Tony Pulis famously, I can't even remember what the quote was now, about him not being ready for the Premier League, and then obviously we've seen what he's gone on and done since then. And it was that was kind of the beginning of the end. I mean, Arsenal wanted to keep him at the time. It wasn't that they decided to let him go. It's just that Serge Gnabry made it pretty clear he wasn't going to sign the new contract, so Arsenal had to end up selling. Obviously, he went from strength to strength when he went back to Germany. But I mean, it would absolutely. I would love him to come to Arsenal. It would be absolutely perfect. You look at what he could bring to this team, the experience he could bring to the team, the quality he could bring to the team, the winning mentality to bring everything. It's just tick, 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 tick. When it comes to, would it be a good signing for Arsenal? But it's still, to me, just kind of feels like that dream type scenario with him. It's one almost wishful thinking of fans kind of going with the emotion rather than the head. I mean, he's said before, I know he teased it when he's spoken about before potentially coming back to England and saying now Arsenal would probably, be his first choice. We've seen him wearing the kits recently in those pictures of him in the classic kits. I mean, again, it would just be brilliant. It would be perfect, and it would be, like they said, that unfinished business. And maybe that's maybe he has that in his head, and it could happen. But it always just feels like an unlikely one. There's always seems to be a player during the transfer window who everyone sort of jumps on, think let's sign him, and it feels like it's him this summer. But I just can't really see it happening. It just feels like one of those more, like I said, leading with emotion rather than head when it comes to him. You look at potentially Real Madrid, the fact they're not getting Mbappe now. Would they look at someone like Gnabry, it would make sense. I mean, Champions League winners, he deserves to be playing in the Champions League. So when you're looking at potential destinations, if indeed he does leave Bayern Munich this summer, someone like Madrid, that feels like the move, and I just can't see it being Arsenal as much as I would love it to, and as much as I know you guys would love it to as well. It's an area where Arsenal would need to strengthen, you would think. Certainly if they get rid of Nicolas Pepe this summer, which again you would expect could well happen if Arsenal can find a buyer or a taker for Nicolas Pepe, then that frees up space in the squad for another wide player. And potentially Gnabry can play that, because we know he can play either side if he needs to. He can play through the middle if he wants to, because he's that good. So there is a possibility of a position opening up there for him, but I just can't see it being him, unfortunately. But wow, what a statement that would be if Arsenal could go out and somehow get him or be in the running for him even. But I just can't see it. For me, if you're looking at potential next clubs for Serge, it's going to have to be someone like Real Madrid, unfortunately, rather than Arsenal. But who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe they'll surprise me. Anyway, if you're in the camp of thinking that Arsenal realistically can go for him, then good luck to you. But for me, I think it would certainly be a surprise if Arsenal genuinely did enter the mix for someone as good as him. But let me know, as always, should Arsenal go for him? Do you think it's a realistic option? Let me know in the comments below. Elsewhere in sort of transfer talk at the moment, Lucas Torreira continues to pop up. What is going to happen with him this summer? He's been speaking about his future. Obviously, he had a very, very good season over in Fiorentina, with Fiorentina over in Italy last season. I think the expectation as we came towards the end of last season was that was going to be a move that was made permanent, because he'd been doing so well, seemed very happy there. Fiorentina fans absolutely loved him. Fiorentina seemed to love him. But as the season's ended, it's beginning to look more and more difficult, as usual, because of finances. I think Arsenal looking for about sort of 12.5 million, or that's the figure that I've seen bandied around. I'm not sure if it's right or not, but Fiorentina struggling to come up with the money to be able to make that move permanent. This is a situation that Arsenal are going to find time and time again this summer, and they're going to find it very difficult to shift on these type of players. I spoke about it with Bernd Leno earlier this week about how difficult it's going to be, how much of a job Edu is facing with these sort of players, with your Lenos, with your Pablo Maris, with your Lucas Torreiras. It's just really difficult to sell at the moment, because unless you're selling to English clubs, which is where all the money is, you're just not going to really get what you believe is market value for a lot of these players. Certainly if you're selling if you're an English club looking to sell, because there's just no money in football apart from the English clubs, and obviously your super clubs like your PSG, your Real Madrid, your Barcelona, there's money swirling around there. But elsewhere, in kind of the market which Arsenal will be looking at for a Torreira, for a Mari and things like that, you're just not going to get much money. I mean, Fiorentina, they'll be struggling. Everyone in Italy is really, when it comes to spending this sort of money. And so it's just going to be really difficult for Arsenal to sell or to get the sort of value that they want for these players. Like Torreira should be easy. You go back a couple of years, getting 12 million for someone like Torreira would be easy. I mean, Arsenal spent 25 million to bring him from Sampdoria not long ago. And on the back of a very, very good loan season with Fiorentina, which he's had, you would expect 12 million, no problem. Arsenal get that money, sell him on, bye-bye, Lucas, thanks for your help, see you later. But it's going to prove to be very, very difficult with him, with Pablo Mari, like I said. I mean, we've seen how much they're going to end up only getting for Guendouzi, not much at all. Same with Mavropanos, who's already gone to Stuttgart, not much money at all. And this is a job that Edu's facing. It's going to be very, very difficult to get this sort of market value that he believes, or Arsenal believe, they should be getting for these players. But they need it. They need the money to help fund some transfers this summer. I'm not saying that they're only going to spend the money they get. They're not. Obviously, they're going to spend more than that. But you want to bring in some sort of money. It's something Arsenal have been very, very difficult. You look at Nicolas Pepe, again, a player I spoke about a minute ago. How do you get what you kind of want for Nicolas Pepe in this current market? Because you're not going to sell him to an English club. You can't see he's going to go to an English club. It's very unlikely he goes to one of the super clubs unless PSG can somehow be convinced that they could take him back to France and he could do what he did for Lille when he was there. So it's going to be very difficult to get any sort of money. You think £72 million Arsenal paid for him only 3 years ago. And now you're looking at potentially, a quarter of that at best for Nicolas Pepe. It's going to be really, like I said, it's a job that Edu's got, and he needs to try and do it as best as he possibly can, because this is going to be all crucial money that comes in for Arsenal. And selling the likes of Torreira for Mari and Pepe is going to be crucial to that. I mean, Torreira speaking says, my intention is to stay at Fiorentina, but it will be necessary for the club to find an agreement with Arsenal. I'm perfectly fine in Florence. I'm fine in Italy. I felt very loved by my teammates and fans. When you have confidence in you, it means you feel the trust of people around you. Everything goes for the best. All the conditions helped me to make it to the top and reach my record for goals in the season. I think he scored 5 this season for Fiorentina, so not bad at all for Lucas Torreira there. Won 3 Player of the Month awards. Again, all of this adds up to it should be a relatively simple transfer, but it doesn't at this stage of the summer appear it's going to be that way because of the finances involved and the fact that, again, the Premier League is just moving so far ahead of everyone else when it comes to money and finances that when you're trying to sell players to clubs outside of the Premier League, it's really difficult to get any sort of significant transfer fees for them. So, as I said, difficult one for Edu, but it's one he's going to have to try and sort out. Elsewhere, away from transfers, call up for Folarin Balogun yesterday to train with the England first team, which is a good boost for him. He's obviously with the under-21s at the moment. He and 3 others from the 21s group got called up by Gareth Southgate to train with the senior side. Good experience for Balogun, who obviously spent the second half of last season with Middlesbrough. Will be returning to Arsenal this summer after the internationals to determine what's next for him and his future. Personally, I think he should go out on loan again next season, have a full season out on loan. Did all right at Middlesbrough, maybe didn't do quite what everyone was expecting, but it would have been a valuable learning experience for him if he can go out and have the full season somewhere on loan this season. Then we can get a proper make a proper judgment on exactly where Balogun is. Kieran Tierney has also been speaking about his injury layoff and coming back from it. More importantly, we know Tierney missed a large chunk at the end of the last season. What was it, last 2 months of the season, I think, with that knee injury he sustained just before the Crystal Palace game, a game that Arsenal lost and went on a horrible losing run at the end of the season. There's no doubt that Tierney's absence was caused a massive impact on the way Arsenal ended the season. I'm pretty sure if Tierney stays fit, Arsenal would have got top 4. I think is that important. Certainly if him and Partey stayed fit, they would have got top 4. Those injuries were so crucial at such a crucial stage of the season. And he's been speaking about it. He says, the verdict at the time was 12 weeks and it was gutting when I realised the games I'd missed for Arsenal and Scotland. However, there was nothing I could do about it. Instantly, I just wanted to know from the specialist and the physio what it was going to take for me to get back quickly. Whenever I've been given a time frame recovery, I've always aimed to get back early. I push myself as hard as I can. It's the only way I know. It's tough working full days on your own, but you got to keep pushing yourself. I'm a terrible spectator, not being able to do anything to help the team. I hate it. My target is to be back at the end of June and start the pre-season with Arsenal. I'm on course for that. My rehab's going well. So that's good news. It was always at the time when he got the injury, it was kind of told to me at the time that the focus was always trying to get him back for the start of pre-season so that he could hit the ground running, have pre-season, go off on the pre-season tour and be ready for the start of the season. So judging by what Kieran's had to say there, that he is on course for that, and that is very good news for Arsenal because they want Kieran Tierney. I know there's been talk about Zinchenko. I spoke about it on a previous video, who I think would be a very good signing for Arsenal. Again, I'm still not quite sure on if he would be the regular sort of starter in midfield if Arsenal went and signed him, which some people are suggesting. I think Arsenal may need a little bit more than that if they want to go to the next level. But, you know, for a squad member being possibly central midfielder and also fill in as cover for Kieran Tierney, who we know does have injury issues consistently, then I think it'd be a great signing. But, you know, just taking Zinchenko out of it completely, just getting Kieran Tierney back would be a major boost for Arsenal. Who knows, potentially even Arsenal's next captain. We'll find out about that, I imagine, once pre-season gets well underway. Who is going to be Arsenal's skipper next season? Will it be Tierney? Will it be Martin Odegaard? Before his injury, Tierney was the man with the armband. Obviously, after he got injured, Odegaard took the armband. He had it for the remainder of the season. It'd be very, very interesting who does get that armband when everyone is fit and available and ready for the start of pre-season, which I tell you what is actually going to come around pretty quickly. It's all a bit quiet at the moment, but it's not going to be too long before the players end up start coming back and start getting ready for the pre-season games and the pre-season tour to the US. It's going to go like that, I have to say. All right, that's it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow I'll try and do a video. Hopefully, well, I think I might just try and have a little bit of debate about player of the season tomorrow. I haven't touched on that yet. The voting is open on Arsenal.com for who should be Arsenal's player of the season, so I might have a little discussion about that amongst other things in tomorrow's video, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Have a very good day, everyone. Enjoy yourself. I'll speak to you very soon.